ready to start playing here. Got to enter a few personal notes into anything. This is going to be a problem. The light in this location, I may have to move this table somewhere else. I didn't think things through right away. My light here, it works, but it's very dim. I don't tend to do much here. I store my baggies and stuff on top of here, usually. But anyway, on a personal note, I ended up going for a nice long walk, which is why it's sort of not as bright as it was. I was hoping to get the game done today. Probably not going to do that. But also, I noticed my memory's fading and whatnot on that walk. But yeah, the also was, I come home and my computer is having problems. The big problem right now seems to be, well, something that I use for RAID is freezing it sometimes. But if I'm not careful, and I wasn't careful. But whenever I do a hard reset, you know, I can't even power down when this problem happens. I have to actually cut the power to the machine. And when I do that, now it fucks the BIOS up. And that's not good. Basically, it's my CMOS battery is like dead. Anyway, which is relatively recent. Now, this is a 15-year-old computer, just about, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I bought it when I got to Phoenix fairly early because my laptop died there, right? I don't know. So the hard part here, and the only reason I have a die, it doesn't come with the game or anything, is I need to make decisions on that bidding structure. And I have really no idea, right? So I look at the first company, this one, it's got 6 shares. Okay, it's got to get here. That's trivial. I'm going to have no problem doing that. Although someone may force it to die, all you need to do to kill something is to have 1 share of it. So it becomes kind of important to protect shares and everything. It's going to be a weird game. It's not going to feel like you're running companies or anything in the same fashion that you would in even the Winsome designs, really. And so how much is it worth, and how much do I want to put there, and what, you know? So I'm going to say, hey, do I want to bid $5 on that? It looks fine. I see no reason not to buy it for 5. The question is, how much more than 5 am I willing to pay? And I'm going to roll a die. I'm not willing to pay any more than 5. So I'm putting an initial bid of 5 on that. And I'm going to use player markers, or I'm going to use color markers to indicate the initial, this is going to be a problem, the initial bids. I'll put them over here. I don't think anybody's going to go above 20. So green, well, is green willing to go above 5? Yeah, they're going to go right up to 13. That's a pretty decent amount of money. The next player, I'm going to call black over here, and I'll do the same thing. I'll roll a die. So how many companies can we each get? Well, we each have $30. If we spend our full 30, we can get a share. And then those shares become very valuable, and we can kind of control the company. We don't have to buy additional shares. No one else will be able to buy them. Of course, we won't be able to boost the share value this way, but it almost seems like you can go very high. So, odd, am I willing to go above that? I am. And this is going to be, hey, I'll go maybe, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll go $1 above I'll go up to 14. These players are all locked in. They can continue bidding. If you pass, you can't bid on that company anymore. Third player, I'm going to call orange for now. And again, odd, am I willing to go higher? I'm not, so I pass. And the fourth player, white, same deal. I'm not willing to. So now we go to blue. Blue's like, well, at least I bid on it. I'll go odd even on this. I'm willing to bid higher. I'll do the 1 through 3. 4, 5, I'll go 2 higher. I'll put mine up to 16. We'll see what this does, right? I kind of feel like you shouldn't be spending most of your money. And there's another share of it out here. Another share means, you know, actually anything but a 1, I'm going down to 15. I'm going down to 15. So now I think things get much iffier, because if there's a share, another share of this out there for 15 bucks and I can boost the share value by $1 right away, that feels kind of nice, right? So green is perhaps taking that into account, and I'm going to say on a 1, I'll go forward. I do not, so green pulls their bid, and same thing with black. On a 1, I'll go forward. I'm not willing either. So blue's getting this for 15 bucks, and I mark that by dropping their cash to 15. I put a blue marker, not because the blue player won it, at 15, which is above this first dividend price, which means they're not going to make that, they're not going to get a bonus off that dividend. That's kind of problematic, right? I would have, if I was bidding at 12, I would be able to get the share value all to myself for my 1 share. So we see somebody who has a problem. This guy's next. He has a green. Even though I want to buy this for 15, and that's a deal and all, I'm also not unwilling to put a bid in on this other one. So am I willing to go higher? Am I interested in going higher? Does 12 sound like a good number? Let me put on a 1, I just jumped to 12. No. Odd, I go higher. Even, I'm just going to put a 5 bid on that. And I'm going to follow the same kind of process, except with what he learned with 12, green is going to say, hey, do I want 12? 1 through 3, I just jumped to 12. Yeah. I'm going to jump to 12. That seems like a good price to go. And that's going to put an inhibition on other players, although this is one with less shares. It might be interesting to hold. I don't know. Odd, am I willing to go higher? I am not. Orange. Orange is willing to go higher. I'm going to go with the 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to go $1 higher to 13. And that puts it to white. We're still not at that 15 that blue went to. So that may be kind of the working amount. 1, 2 is 14, 15. 3 is I'm not bidding. 0, if I get to a 0, the 10 number, is I'm willing to go above 15. 3, he's just not going to bid, even though he wanted that. Blue, is blue willing to go above, 13, not 15. 13 is kind of a shitty number, isn't it? Am I willing to do this? I'm going to say only on a 1 am I willing to buy, because I have a plan for that. Green, is green interested in another in this company? They are not. So blue and green actually both came off. And we have a $13 bid for orange, who is 1, 2, 3, 4th player. I'm just using these colors to indicate people for now. 13 means he goes down to 17 and gets a share of the cheeseburger. He gets next first bid on the Pennsylvania. Do him like this. What does he want to do with that? Well, definitely seems worth putting a bid in. I see no reason not to bid something on every company. People who haven't bid when it's down around the 5 or 6 value, they're making a mistake. So I'm going to say what? 1, 2, 3, I'll go for 12. No. I have 17 bucks. 17 bucks, I don't know. How about 5 plus 8 is 13? Okay. I have no idea what these values are going at. We're going to possibly see someone late in the bidding being able to buy something for a lot cheaper than they probably should, but I don't think so, because everybody's got 30 bucks and nobody's going up anywhere near there, which puts us to, oh, we don't want to go to 13. We want to go to 12. We don't want to go to 13. We do not want to go to 13. I'll just put myself at 5 to lock in a bid. But not green. This was the orange player. Okay. Because I went over the amount. I almost certainly am willing to bid on this, so I'm just going to add 5 and 5 is 10. Sounds good. Blue's sitting on 15 bucks. I have a plan for 15 bucks. On a 1, I'll break my plan. No. Green now for real. Doesn't have a plan. Sees 12 bucks as a good deal. So what am I going to do? 1 through 7. I'll go to 12 bucks. And I'll just go straight to 12. That seems like a really nice value because it gives me that income right away. And that puts me on the black player who isn't getting anything. And there's only 3 left. This is the pen. It's the biggest. I don't think that makes it more valuable particularly. Odd I bid. I'm going to bid. You're certainly not going to go above 15. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. It's currently at a bid of 12. 13, 14, 15. Am I really interested in this? 13's not a terrible bid. 1 through 8, I go on 13. I'll go to 13 on that. This is the black player. Everybody has gotten a bid in. Everybody's gotten a chance to bid. We're back on orange. Is he interested in this? He has 17 bucks left. He can pretty much buy one more company. Is this the one he wants? I'm going to say only on a 1 or a 2 does he want it. I don't think this is worth much. It's not. We'll withdraw. Yeah. Put markers next to people. What do we got here? White is in. Who's not in? Blue's not in. Blue has his. Yeah. Okay. So that puts us to the white player, I guess. Does he want this? It's not terrible. 1 through 3. I'm willing to bid on it. Odd, even, with a 0 going to, I'm not going to bid after all. Odd, I go a buck higher. I go up to 14 a share. That brings me back around to green. Green has their full 30 bucks. They haven't bought a share of anything. They're gonna, I don't know. It's getting up there in price. There's still 2 things left. I say odd, I'm willing to go 15. Nope. I'll pull out. And black, who's over here. Is 15 worth it? I'm saying odd. He goes for it. He'll go for it. That puts white, who is our last player, with a choice. He can't buy two things at this. I'm going to say only on a 1. He'll pull back. And that means black gets this at 15. This is the white company. We got this wrong. This should be green. See, that's what I screwed up. Green was at 13. White is up at 15. Along with blue, it's a little crowded here. And the black player gets the Pennsylvania. I'm going to check my computer. I'll be back. I don't like what it's doing. I may be switching to my wife's computer. All right, so the black player is up first on the black company. I didn't pay my money. He bought for 15. That means he's down to 15. I don't know if I like these better or less than I like using chips. There's something really compact about them, especially since I don't have to have a bank. Since prices are going at 15, and this is the smallest company, on odd, I'm just going to throw a 15 bid in on it. I do it. Do you guys feel lucky, punks? All right. That means, yeah, this guy's beginning to get nervous. There's two people who don't have a company. Okay. Orange. Orange has 17 bucks. That's what I can bid. You know what? I think I'm just going to bid it. I'm just going to bid my money. This looks like the best company to me. I don't get anything if I don't pay something. Do I care? I mean, I can bid this up. Who's going to go first? The first person is the person who spent the least on money on companies, or the person who has the least? Beginning with the start player. The player who owns a share of the lowest valued railroad takes the first turn. Currently the lowest value is green. That would be him taking the first turn, and then we go counterclockwise from there. This is important to consider. It means I will get another option, and there's a 15-buck company up that maybe he can't buy. So maybe that's worth buying. I don't know. I don't know anything. What do I want to do? Nothing's going to go lower in price. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but through the sales, things can drop. But it's really unlikely that anything's going to be lower priced than we're seeing. So the question here is, black and orange have put their bids in. Black's already out. They're gone. Does white want to drop more than 15 bucks on this when I can get something for 15? I think only on a 1. I do think this is an interesting company because it's so small, but I'm going to just pass. Blue has not enough money. They pass. Green, this is the problem with these. Green has a lot of money. They're not going to get a quick option on this first company. They don't know what the next company is going to be. It might be green at 13, which makes 17 kind of a nice bid. What do I do? So if this guy buys another company at the 17 buck level, he also has the lowest value company, gets to take the first turn. So looking at other people, they're not going to get an option on this at 15. So I can just sort of discount that. But I can't discount the fact that, hey, if I keep some cash on hand, I can buy up other things. But the price is fixed at this point by the starting values that people are putting on. So this is kind of weird. How does white feel? I don't know. Odd we go for it. We're gonna pass. Oh, white already passed. This was green, whether green wanted to do it. So green passes, not enough cash here. That means orange is going to get the black company at 17 bucks, way up here, but nearly at the next dividend level, for whatever reason, you know. 17 bucks, he's got nothing left. That means he gets to pass. First player's over here. He's got the black company. This Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, and Chicago, it's a big company. I'm going to be able to buy something right away for 15, so I'm going to put in a 15 bid on this and just say that's good enough, man. That shuts blue down. It does put green in a position where, hey, we might want to buy for more. 17 is an interesting price. I look around for money. The only person who can beat me is him. If I don't go 17, he might. So I'm going to throw my bid at 17. He's going to withdraw. Nobody else has the cash on hand, which means that the final company is also worth 17. And that puts him at 13. The reason it's interesting is that I conceivably could buy a share of something at this price. I might have wanted to leave myself a little leeway because prices might go up. We have now started. We've now done all the bidding. The first player is going to be whoever owns a green share, which is this guy. We knew that. And after all shares have been auctioned, move the top face up from the offer deck to the +1 share value. Flip the next one over. It is an orange at a high price. Be OCD here. And we're ready to start with actions. I gotta go do other stuff. We'll see if I have light. The lighting situation was pretty bad and I didn't want to move the table. I'm kind of worried the glass top might shift and things might go badly. And I'd have to move it into an annoying place. I see why I don't play here. So now it's like Thursday morning at a reasonable hour. And we're ready to actually start with the play of the game. I don't expect this is going to take very long to get out of the way, but unfortunately I am reading the rules to something, and I keep passing out asleep when I read them because I'm just bored reading them. Yeah, it's always been a tough slog through this rule set. It's not that they're bad rules, it's just they're tough. All right, so first player here. Now, he has no cash, so he can't buy this. He doesn't want to sell his shares, so he wants to activate something. All right, activating is playing 2 tokens, I believe. It's been a long time since I read these rules in comparison to the size of the rules. Yeah, 2 discs, and I would like to increase the value of my share, whichever one I choose. So I could either take black, which is economically my most valuable, but it might be worth more to use green for the simple fact that green is closer. Green is more likely to get another share up there. I think that black might be a better move. But let's also look here, because if I do black, I'm probably going to get a dividend, and a dividend sounds good, whereas green is not going to get a dividend anytime soon. Okay, we'll do black, because what we want to do is these two, and that gets me a gold space, which is a town, and that increases the value by 2. That hits me here. That will cause a dividend increase. Immediately after the value increases into or through a gold dividend space on the value track, each shareholder of that railroad receives the railroad's current value divided by the amount of shares. Well, current value is 19, so I get 19 bucks. And this is why bids that put you right, opening bids should put you right before that little thingy. Now, there's something that happens. The union, after all railroads, each share gets purchased. That's not it. I'm trying to see something changes these. So I know that buying one of those shifts another one in, but I believe also laying track may. After laying track, move the top share onto the +1 space, so this shifts over, this comes down, and now this is available. Or not available, but we know that it's coming. And the valuation of these goes up. We go over here. Somebody who has nothing, he's going to need to buy a share because of that. I'm going to move the die around because since he has no shares, buying a share is necessary for him to, it's the only thing he can do within the action round, which means I could buy a blue share, which would go up 2 value. Okay, it's 15 bucks. That's kind of nice. Or an orange share, which is 17 bucks, and would go up 2, and I'd immediately get a valuation advantage for that. No, it would only go up 1. Ooh, see, this is the problem. I buy this, though, and I set it up for someone else. But 15 bucks seems like a better deal to me, and it's what I was planning. So I'm going to buy a blue share. The mechanics of this little tiny thing are kind of painful, and you're going to have 2 in each of these. It's a little crowded and difficult to cope with. I should get tweezers. Having bought a share, I believe we move the next share off. I did move that. We flip this, and there's another green. Already. Oh well. We go here. He's got 15 bucks. There's no blue left. That green is not available, but you know what it is? A white. I could buy a white for 15 bucks. Oh, hold on. Something had to happen here, didn't it? Each time a share is purchased, blue was just purchased, that pushes that up. That doesn't change anything. Everybody's got to go past for money to be handed out. Okay. So blue. Blue has 15 bucks. I could buy the white share, and that would increase in value. Or I could lay some blue track. Where does blue go? Blue goes up here. This might not be a bad choice for what I would do there. That would increase a couple of people's stuff. The white increasing by 1. See, I'm like, wow, what do I want to do? Cashing my 15 bucks in seems kind of valuable. Blue, though, if I build, would produce revenue, which also seems kind of valuable. What kind of revenue would it be producing? It would be producing 19 bucks divided by 2. How is that divided? Rounded up. So I would get 10 bucks for kind of doing nothing. Now, that helps this guy, which I'm not thrilled about, but I am going to play in these same 2 spaces, and those spaces are filled now. That gets me 2 bucks here. Wait a minute. We had a dividend paid. And that will generate another dividend, and each of these gets 10 bucks for that. Now, we just did a lay track, which means these all move up. And you can see it's a weird mechanism because each choice you make, you know, gives an improved situation for the next player of some sort or another, except selling your stock. That doesn't do anything. But now the stocks are filled, which means that option is a little less valuable, and greens at 13 are looking really attractive. He's not going to have the money to buy anything else, but he has oranges. If he could get to here, which he can, he would also get a slew of cash. So the question becomes, do I want, because we're over here, do I want to buy, I want to buy this, obviously. I think I want the dividend because this is out there and looks so valuable, and I don't have the cash to do anything with it. So I'm going to drop this and this. That also increases this by $2. That means we get a dividend of 19 bucks. And you know, I'm not sure how much I'm increasing my valuation or my position. Like, I'm getting cash off this, that's great, and that's what I'm trying to win off of. I'm increasing the value of my stock, but I'm not gaining anything that's gonna grow. And it's just, there's hard choices. I'm not sure what any of this is supposed to represent, right? Like, you look at an 18xx game, and it's really, really easy to say, and most of the Winsome games. You look at an 18xx game, not that this is, you look at an 18xx game and you say, oh, I'm investing, buying these shares, I have the presidency so I can control the decisions. In something like Chicago Express, or I'm going to get them mixed up because there's like Steam and there's Chicago Express. But in something like Chicago Express and some of the Winsome games, you're buying shares. You can take a turn the same way you kind of can here, where you're making a choice between what you want to do. Do you want to buy a share, or do you want to trigger something with your share? But you kind of have to use the money of the company usually to build the track out. But this has a similar feel to some of the more abstract of the Winsomes. Anyway, and it may be a Winsome, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I didn't look up the provender of it. It certainly is in the spirit. Okay, so this guy's sitting here with 15 bucks, which is enough that I could buy either another white, which is very appealing because I've got one and that would raise the stock value, or a green, which wouldn't really help me very much. I am going to spend the 15 bucks on a white, buy myself another Pennsylvania, and that raises its value by 2 for here. The greens fill in, and yet another orange. Orange is a big railway, that's why. Okay, so we're up here. He's got 19 bucks from the dividend that he pulled earlier. There are greens all over the place. Greens are really cheap. Do I want to keep investing in greens? This would get a +3. That's kind of nice, but I think I'd rather buy the +2 green because it helps me. So there's 10, 13. Sorry, the +2 green. That sends green up. That opens up another space, and another orange comes on, and yet another orange. And we're up here. And I don't know what, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making these opportunistic choices, which I kind of like doing. That's fun and it's easy and everything. But I don't feel like I have much in the way of a strategy or anything in play that's kind of directing these, except make more money, which, that's kind of the goal of the game, I guess. 25 bucks in hand. How did I get so much damn money? What is going up with these? Each time a share gets purchased. I have not been doing that. Uh-oh. All right. What the fuck? So I did it for blue. No purchases. A white was purchased. You gotta pay attention, dude. You gotta pay attention. Here, a green was just purchased. And now we're back up there. Okay. And this is like money that you get from Chicago itself, I guess. I don't know. He has the CMSTP and NW. Well, before the NW gets built. What are my choices here? There are things I can buy. I do have money. I have 15 bucks. That means I could buy that green. That may be my best choice. The other option would be to keep building blue out and grow it, but I think I need to get more cash. I actually have more money than that. Hold on. I have 25. I didn't have 15. Instead of the green, I could buy an orange. Oranges are more rare. But I could increase that by 3 value for 19 bucks. Yeah, why don't I do that? Well, because 15 and 15, yeah, I wouldn't have enough money anyway. So there's the 19 bucks. I buy an orange share. That triggers this down. This moves 1, 2, 3. These slide over. There we are. Another Pennsylvania. I only have 1 share, but I have shitloads of cash. All right, what's that? I mean, 25, the same as he had. But, what's that going to mean? Well, oranges, I would not get the dividend right away. There's something very advantageous to getting a dividend. This guy's not going to be able to pull the dividend right away, although 2 people could do it. So I think, although I buy this, so here's the thing. Let's say I buy the green. I get 1, 2, 3 spaces. I don't get a dividend off of it. It's cheap, though. I'm going to do this. But what it means is that the oranges now go up to where an immediate dividend could be cashed in by the person who does it. Now let's say I buy an orange instead. That's going to cost me 22. And I would almost certainly get a dividend here. And it also would go up in value. And it would go up in value multiple times. But that dividend is going to be split a lot of different ways. Of course, so is the green one when it happens. I'm torn. I'm going to roll a die, odd orange, even green, because I can't make my mind up between these two. I'll go with the orange. All right, so I said 22 bucks. I take the most valuable. Like, I might as well make that new share that I just bought worth more. That's a purchase of a share. That drops this over. I hope I'm doing. I hope I'm keeping track of this. This is the problematic thing from my point of view. Like, it's just difficult to remember. And that brings another orange. We get down here. Well, I got no choice. I want my oranges to boost up, even though there are a lot of them out there. Do I have 24 bucks? I do. That means I get 6 there. Pick this up. Another orange. Nobody's buying black. No black showing up. That moves this 2. That's a dividend space. It's at 26 divided by 4, which sounds to me, since it's just rounded up, it's not like round up 1.5 or anything like that, although that would work too. That looks to me like 9 bucks. So 9 per share. 18 here, make that 26. Have we gotten everything? This is all the way at the top. I don't have to worry about oranges being bought anymore. And the slide, we get a green. Okay. The white player can't buy stock. He could sell his stock. I could get some money. Nobody else is in on this. Doesn't seem wise. This, however, is a space, and I can... So here's the thing. Right now, I get all the money without buying this. So I think I don't want to buy that. That's good, because I don't have the money to do it. I'm going to play these two spaces, because otherwise I do not get a dividend, an increase value space. That moves this. That's going to trigger a dividend. The total value of the company is 19 bucks. I'm going to say that I don't get 20. I have the entirety of the value, so I'm going to do one calculation rounded up. So, you know, it's 9.5 and 9.5 as opposed to rounding up individually. I don't know what it says there. We moved that. No shares were sold. What does it say here? Divided by the number of shares owned by the players rounded up. Yeah, I think technically you probably should be getting an extra buck off that, but I just don't like that. That feels like cheating. No matter what, it creates more money though. So, okay, that puts me here. He has basically no cash. His choices are to play with green that nobody else is in. Can I help green? Well, here's the problem. The two things that generate income are both gone. I don't really want to go straight there because that's heading me too close. So I'm going to head down this way. That's a track lay. That would move things, but there's no room, so we go back here. He's got cash. He's got 15 bucks. There's a green. I could shoot the value of green up, really diversify and get cash from, you know, anything that generates money. As an alternative, that's 26. I don't have that kind of money. The only thing I could buy is a green. I could lay track for either blue or orange, but I don't think that's worth as much as just buying a share. Green is at 15, so we'll take these off. We'll grab this. Gives us 1, 2, 3. And doesn't trigger a share got bought though. This goes down. Okay. We're over here. I only have 12 bucks. There's nothing that cheap. So I have to lay track. I mean, I could sell. I have to do something. I can't pass. And that's an important facet to the game. Blue. I'm sharing blue with one other person. Kind of interesting. I don't want to crash the company. That's for sure. And orange, and those are my only options to play. Where is orange is trying to get here? They're heading down that way. What assholes. Orange, I could increase value by playing, but that helps me less than other people. So I think I'll play blue. I could cut down here. Or I could be a dick and play here. That doesn't change anything. I think those would shift, but double orange, 26 bucks. There's another orange out there. I could increase my share of orange, increase the value of orange. Or I could just increase its value by playing to a location. Gotta watch the total chips. We're getting kind of low here. Now there's one over there, but and I don't know why. There's no reason for me to be talking about colors at this point. Those were for bidding, really. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're getting damn close. We might not be able to make it to our destination if we're not careful. There aren't a lot of orange pieces. What the hell is going on here? Okay, we got more. Everybody ended up on the board. So yeah, I had these set aside to put the valuations, but then I drew new ones. I think, do I want to buy a pen? I could take away his advantage of owning the pen, but it's not very rich. I could keep improving my oranges one way or another. I could buy a green, which would immediately create a dividend, and I'd get a quarter of the money. It's the only way I'm going to get a green right now. That's 18 bucks. Sounds like a deal. I buy this. That shifts green down, puts one of these here. We hit another dividend at 19 bucks. Divide it by 4, which is 5 for him. 5 for him. The pause was because I had to think which way this rounded, and yeah, and a 10 for him. We moved that. Everything's set. Go over to the pen. Everything's not set. I could keep buying pens, but that is stupid, right? I'm getting my full value off the pens right now until somebody else buys one. The only reason I would want to do it is to keep boosting the stock value of it. How much pen do I have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is getting tight. That's less than optimal. Somebody just ran across. A squirrel or something just ran across. This is like their highway. They love my porch. They go from one tree to the other and just have fun. As an alternative, I have enough money, but it's not enough to buy one of these. I could buy a pen for 19. Do I want to do that? My total holdings go up in value by the cash that I spend, but I'm not gaining anything particular from it. So I think I want to lay track. And I think I want to lay my track. So I said there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think I want to lay straight across. The problem will be if someone else wants to lay track for white, they could screw the company. Now, they can only do it if they hold a share, and therefore they're hurting their own holdings. If everybody had holdings of the pen, it might not be a big deal, but you know, to buy one share when I've got 2 and hurt yourself, unless this guy's just clearly in the lead and you're in second, you know, and jockeying to try to, it's really not worth it to screw the companies over, I think, in general. Okay. Black. Black's got to get down there. And that's getting kind of tight. It could be difficult. So, I have 16 bucks, not enough to buy anything. I have green and black. If If I improve green, I could get some money. But I think I want to lay some black track. Now, this is not black, this is. But I'm improving the value by a couple of bucks. What is it for the others? Oh, it's just 3 for hitting another city. So, I mean, I could go through like Des Moines. I'm worried I didn't take care of these. And what is this? That's a bidding artifact. Okay. Back up here. He has not enough money to do shit, which means blue, green, and orange. What do I want to work with? Well, I'm a minority holder, I'm a minority holder in orange. I don't really want to help it, but I also don't want to play to hurt it because, again, there's 2 players who aren't involved in it. Screw that, I'll just ride it. Blue and green, I'm a minority holder in green, but I am equal in blue, which to me means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could play 2 more. I'm going to play these guys because, again, I don't think anybody's going to hurt blue on purpose who owns it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to increase its valuation. Things would slide here, but they don't. And we get over here. What do we have? 12 bucks, not enough to do shit. Blue and orange. Again, I'm not a minority player, but rather I'm okay. Like I'm tied in blue. So I'll go down here and raise blue by 2 as well. Again, that might shift something, but it doesn't. So we head down. 13 bucks, not enough to buy anything. Lots of orange and a minority in green. Sounds like I want to work on orange. Orange wants to get up here. I'm going to trace the same track line as white is taking here. That doesn't give me any money, but that's okay. White. 19 bucks. 19 bucks is enough to buy either green or white. I've already talked about white. I don't want to buy it. I'll lay track for it. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm right on the edge. That gets white up 2. You can see the game's moving pretty quickly at this point. Nobody's got the cash to invest. It's kind of, you know, I don't think all of these are going to come out. What are my 3 end conditions? All shares purchased, yeah. All 20 dividends paid out, or 5 railroads cannot lay track anymore. He again wants to do black. He has 16 bucks. 16's not enough to do anything with. So we got to create some dividends. Black will row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gets me not close enough. I'd eat up too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We'll follow blue down on their way. Black goes up by 2. And that doesn't do shit. Okay. Seem to be in a stasis position here. Not enough cash. Again, blue is his best company. He wants to cash that in as much as he can. And that works. That creates a dividend situation. A dividend at 25 bucks with 2 people holding it. They each get 13. That's pretty nice. Like, just, you know, the proportion that they've gotten off of being able to just play that is really nice. But that means that this guy now gets first option with piles of cash. He has 25 bucks. He can buy anything except an orange. That means he can buy white. If he's going to buy white, he might as well stock the value up a little higher. It definitely seems like a good idea because only one person's in there. So 21 bucks for a white. I'll take the most valuable one, which raises it by 1, 2, 3. Nothing there. These discs fit a little too closely, a little too tightly, which means that like sometimes it's hard to see what's going on. There's a lot, so there's something to be said for the small size. I really love that. The fact that I could put this in, well, in my army coat pocket, but not in much else. It's a little too big to carry really, really easily, but I could put it in like a pouch or a purse or something like that. If I had my man purse, it's the thing that is a Swiss postal bag. It's actually a replica of one, but anyway, I don't think it's a real one. But it's well worn, but it, you know, small purse-like object. Anyway, where the fuck am I? We just moved. We just bought a white. We did this here. Yeah. Let me finish this action up before I stop. He bought one. The value went up. That didn't trigger anything to trigger this. And finally we get another black, which means we're going to start triggering the Union Station situation. Okay, so the small size is great for, like, you know, you could bring this to, I don't know, like a coffee shop or something back when they allowed you to smoke in coffee shops, or if you're like some kind of weird pervert who doesn't like to smoke when you're drinking coffee. But, you know, it's easily transportable, it's small, it doesn't take up a huge amount of table space. I could easily see playing this where, you know, most of the Winsoms and XXs you can't. But that tight board and whatnot, space, and the component size and everything, it does make it more difficult to cope with outside of those kind of situations where you'd want to do this. So I'd kind of say this is really neat in terms of if you want that Winsom type experience, but you want to do it on a really tiny board. You know, you want to take it to a coffee shop or something like that where the tables are small. Okay, I just did this guy, so it's on him. And you know what? We're going to swap batteries. I'm going to take a little break. Having some difficulty remembering the mechanisms, you know, just the, hey, when does this get triggered? What happens here? Stuff like that. It's a simple, tiny little set of rules. Everything's moving so fast. Somehow, that makes it hard for me, right? I don't know why. Because I'm stupid. But one thing I can definitely say in its favor from my point of view, although maybe not everyone else's, is I feel like I don't have a lot of choices ever. I like that. I know this is like the absolute antipathy in, I don't know. Not antipathy. I don't know what I want. It definitely starts but I don't remember the word. But it's absolutely the opposite of what your Eurogamer kind of at least says they want, right? They usually are like, well, I want, you know, significant choices, stuff like that. But to me, significant choices mean that I'm sitting there thinking too hard. Here I feel like, yeah, maybe I made some important choices at the beginning of the game, but it almost feels like everything is being forced, or I'm given just a limited scope of choices based on the amount of money that I have on hand. Now that may be because I bid a lot on the railways. Maybe you're not supposed to bid that much. But I get the feeling that you can't bid a hell of a lot. So you're going to end up with nothing if players decide to bid a lot. Now, you will be able to buy stuff eventually, but you might lose out on some opportunities that are really, really valuable. Anyway, let's go to him. So again, he's minority in green, which means he wants to play with orange, I think, if he's playing. However, he has 13 bucks, not enough to do anything. Yeah, he'll play with orange. He's heading for Cleveland here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh boy. So is there a way I can do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I haven't gone through these yet. That's what's wrong. Okay. That'll do good enough. That moves this. And we're on our way. Now, if I had a couple extra pieces, I might be able to cheat my way into Pittsburgh before I go into Cleveland. As soon as I hit Cleveland, I'm done. On to the pen guy. Pen guy doesn't have a hell of a lot of money. He does have enough to buy a green share if he wants it. He does not have enough to buy a pen share. This is a hard call. So, do I want to buy or do I want to play? If I play, I trigger a. So anybody who buys this triggers dividend. If I play, I trigger dividend. What's green at? Green is nowhere near dividend level. This isn't going to increase it much. So we are going to play. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This looks better. So we're going to do 2. That's going to trigger a dividend. It's at 26. Divided by 3 is 7 a share. See, this is where it goes wrong if you don't divide. It's 7. It's 6 something. So maybe it's better to just round each share up. I'm not going to do that where I did before. I'm not going to change anything. This guy gets his $7. There's no question about that. See, he's not getting much because he's not holding a lot. And this guy's only going to get 14, and I think that's what it's going to be. Which gives him enough money to be able to play. We had a dividend. Nothing happens there. We go up here. All right, there's more black. Playing black seems like a good idea. I have 16 bucks, can't do anything else. Can't do anything else. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think there's a way I can hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. There's not enough blacks. I'm looking around to see if there's anything. I'm going to hit here. That gets $3 instead of 2. Is that wise? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't make it there. All right, I get $3 instead of 2. 1, 2, 3. That generates yet another dividend. We're at 26. We're the only ones holding anything. And now we got boatloads of money. Like I said, this was the most attractive to buy because it's the least likely to get watered down. But you never know. You don't know what this is going to show up like after that. All right, we're up here. 18, not quite enough. I'm $1 short from being able to buy a green. But what does that mean for me? It means I still want to fuck around with blue. I could shut blue down. I could sell my blue shares, but see, here's where things get interesting. I move to here, I add $5 to blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts it to 30. This guy sells his share for 30, and now my share is only worth 24. So that doesn't seem like a good idea. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell shares. I'm going to sell my share for its $25 because that's the best I can get off of it. And that screws the other guy who's holding it Well, that was not something I expected to have happen, right? It's different. Like in most of the Winsome games, there's this sort of collaboration where you're working together to build your railways that you have stock in. Here, there's a strong reason not to complete. Oh, okay, we did not realize that was going to happen. That's a kick in the ass. Okay, well, now I'm sitting there with the blues. The price isn't going to go anywhere wrong. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to move that to get another dividend, which is what I would have liked to do. I don't have enough money to buy anything, so I'm just going to run this for 5. That puts me to a damn 24. Buying one more share would kick out a dividend. That might be kind of cool. But blue is done. No more track can be built with blue. People can play around with people can play around with the stock value of the company, though, which is interesting. Of course, there are no more discs left, so who cares? And still nothing going on there. Okay. And I mean, I get most of my value back. Like, it's just he couldn't afford to let him. He couldn't afford to move the value up and let this guy sell for a much higher price. But the way it worked, it's not that terrible. Not enough money to play with. Orange is my world. It's my happiness. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can do it that way. So I'm going to add another 2. Now the problem here is someone else can fuck around with orange and break it. Or they can dump the values. Do I want to do it? Yeah, I think so. I don't really have a great grip on trying to prevent that. That was another track lay. Nothing exciting happens. We go over here. He's sitting on enough money to play with. 33 bucks. What looks interesting? Good question. I could get an immediate dividend payoff by buying orange, but orange is just about ready to hit, which means people might be dumping their shares and I might actually lose money by buying it. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Of course, it also is able to make 8 bucks if it's done right. 2 pieces here and then 2 pieces. So that is an interesting thought. White is also able to do that, and I think honestly, do we want to buy? Is green worth buying? Where's green going? What? Green has like 2 pieces on the board. What the hell? I don't know. I think I'm gonna fuck around with my whites because there's one person who has white. He could sell. That would suck. So I would be here. He would sell it. Drops back down to 23, but then it makes another dividend. Interesting. I'm gonna just do this because I feel like there are reasons he might not do it. But I'm not sure. Up here. The fact that like things drop down and then get regenerated for the dividend race. There's a lot of interesting gamesmanship going on here. I can't point to it and say it represents anything. It feels, so I've always felt like the 18xx games feel like they're really trying to represent the running of railroad corporations. They get a lot wrong as much as they get right, but in sort of broad strokes, there's stuff that like it feels like they're trying to do, and you can make arguments as to the simulation situation. The Winsome games feel kind of similar, but they're not really dealing with the stock market in the same sort of way. B&O does, but they're not really dealing with stocks in the same kind of way. And so they also feel like they're usually representing something where you're like a big investor in the company and you're paying out, the company's paying out money to take actions. You're getting paid dividends when certain actions get played, all kind of stuff like that. And you're really just interested in the stock value of the stocks you have. You usually can't sell them. This one feels really, really gamey. Like, it feels as gamey as things like UP. But I love UP, and I think I might love US as well if I get enough play of it. It feels like the gaming mechanisms are actually just a cool game as opposed to any kind of representation. I need to swap batteries again, unfortunately. Very weirded out when I plug something in, and I mean, this is always happening, but you don't see it usually. When you plug something in and you see the spark as it just starts to connect or whatever, I mean, when you think about it, it always has to happen, but it feels really dangerous, right? Like if there's a little bit of paper or something, inside the electrical outlet, and not, what I mean, I think, like in the case of the electrical outlet, could that catch fire? What's going on there? A bug could get in there, whatever, it could burn. Poor bug. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a lot of money. We got $42, which feels really nice. Green hasn't gone anywhere. I have 2 shares of something that hasn't gone anywhere. I have total control of this because nobody's bumping it, and it's really, really valuable. And green's not going anywhere because I have 2 shares of that, which is kind of cool. I think I want to just close out black. Now, the weird thing is, yeah, it's not going to go up much. Dividends are the way you make money in this game. Do I want to just play? Or do I want to buy? What would I want to buy? Do I want to buy a fucking orange? A fucking orange. Orange is about to die. If I buy that, though, I get an immediate dividend. But I'm probably going to lose money. It's a dangerous time to buy it. I don't want to buy orange. White is in a similar position. If I buy white, I'm probably going to lose money. If I buy green, I help myself. I'm just going to lay more black track. Pass the thing on. Tons and tons of money. Again, orange and white look really questionable. Green does not look bad. Do I want to play orange or green? Do I want to sell orange? I could run orange to the end point. That would get me a payout. That would help him. He would get first sale. There would be a second sale. I'd be going down 2 levels. Not good. Not good. Definitely don't want to buy an orange. I don't think I want to play the payout. I think I want to dump it. Just before it reaches its destination. That actually doesn't hurt other people, but it protects me. And this is the situation I was in before, where I had to protect my own holdings. Didn't really hurt the other guy who was holding it, but it protected my holdings. All right, on to him. Doesn't have shitloads of money. Nobody's going to be screwing around with blue, so I can hold on to this as long as I like. I don't have to worry about it. I could fiddle with its share value if I'm the only one buying into it. If somebody else buys it, I can dump my share. Orange. Orange is the danger. However, do I want to boost orange? See, now if I sell, I leave orange in his hands, and he can control it, and he can play all the bonus points for it and get a fair amount. Okay, let's think. If I connect it, it goes to here. That'll pay out a dividend, and that dividend will be 29 bucks. So I'll get 10. And then the next player will dump it down to 23. So I'll lose 6. You know, why take my turn to not make a lot when instead I could sell it and grab myself 24. I'm not really gaining anything there, and hurt his stock value a little bit, but he can jitter around with it. What happens if I buy a share? I think this is the most interesting, because if he dumps it, I get my dividend at half value. So I'm kind of interested in that. But I don't have the cash to buy a share. I do want to hold it because I'm one of 2 people holding it. I'm not really thrilled with the fact that, like, I can't exchange it. So I think I need to make my money off this so that I have an opportunity next time. Is there anything else I want to buy? So white is out of the question. Well, I don't have money. I don't have money, so let's sell this because we need money. That gets me 24 bucks. That drops this here, but now this is in a position where, like, somebody could buy one, get a dividend, sell it. You know, all kind of weirdness can happen. And we're just not sure, you know, because the cards aren't programmed. There aren't, you know, we can't see what the rest of the deck is going to be. Gets me over to him. He only has 13 bucks. Hey, things are coming down in value. How interesting. Well, all right. His choice. He has 2 oranges that he could sell at 24 bucks each. Now, the way sales works is the value of the railroad is only dropped by 1 row. It's no matter how many you sell. So it's kind of like those XX games where it's each person who sells, it doesn't matter how many shares are sold. So the fact that I'm dumping a huge quantity of shares doesn't really affect the price as much. I feel like that's more of a gameplay decision than anything else in all cases, in terms of not allowing people to slam stocks around too heavily. Personally, in XX, I like being able to manipulate the stocks that way. Some people whine about it because they can't control, you know, it just ends up this weird, like, pathological situation where everybody's just slapping stocks around and everything. It just feels absolutely wrong in terms of that. But in terms of what it's representing, if somebody, you know, if Elon Musk tried to put Twitter up for sale right now, like as a whole, if he just dumped all the shares that he bought, he doesn't have shares, right? But if he had bought the shares and then, you know, immediately re-released them or something, they'd be worth almost nothing compared to, you know, they'd lose value even over probably not certainly over what he paid for it, but over what they're valued at now. Like that idea that, like, the owner is just dumping it, is, as opposed to trying to make some kind of business deal. Anyway, let's go here. So I don't want to close it, right? I move to close it. Sure, I make a dividend. This guy dumps it. I don't really want to dump it. I feel like there's a lot of space to be gained here. If I dump my 2 shares, I'm losing a bigger part of it. Do I want to buy a share? I can't. I don't have enough money. Do I want to lay track for it without closing it? That's the only option that I can see. Unfortunately, and here's the thing, it sets it up so that I think this guy has to dump his share without actually gaining anything on it. Yeah, you can buy one, shift it up. And then if I sell, he has the opportunity to make back most of that money. So yeah, that may be the best for everybody going around. That looks like the best option right now. We're on white. I could shut the Pennsylvania down. I could sell my shares. So if I connect to Pennsylvania, it pays a dividend out. I get 2/3 of that money. This guy sells. I lose. So let's take a look. I connect it up. It goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's $34 a share. I get 2/3 of that 34, which is, I don't know, like $23 or something like that. I think I want to do it. I think I just want to do it. No. Do I want to buy? Buying doesn't get it moved. I have enough money to buy something else, though. Do I want to buy orange just before? No. Do I just want to buy a fucking green? I mean, green is so low, is 19. I don't have enough money to buy 2 shares under those kind of circumstances. I think I just connect them. White is done. That's a dividend. The dividend's at 34, divided by 3. I think I get 22 by the way that I'm calculating it right now. I don't think that's the best way to do it. And what did I say? It's at 34. I think this guy gets 12. So I'm like adding the fractions together and then rounding up is what's going on there. That created one of these. Nobody's fucking buying anything. This is not moving. Oh, damn. He's got a boatload of money. He's holding a company he could just shut down right away. There's not a hell of a lot of value that I can see to waiting to play this out. But do I want to buy something? Well, buying white or orange, it just feels like a disaster waiting to happen because everybody's about to sell. Buying another green would get me more control over green. It cost me 19 bucks. I clearly have the cash to do it. Doesn't really help me. I think I'd rather create more cash for myself with this. Black is done building. We're going to have to watch because green is going to have lots and lots of plays the way it looks, and people might still be playing around with stocks. Speaking of which, we're on green with him. What does he want to do? He has a boatload of money. A boatload of money. Again, I say these are bad choices. Is it buying a green worth it? I don't feel like I have any other option. I feel like all choices have been taken away. So that's 19 bucks for that. That pushes green, no effect. That opens this up, so a black shows up. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. If anybody but him buys it, it's kind of worthless. If he buys it, he triggers a dividend and makes himself some money. So, yeah. I mean, anybody buying it will trigger a dividend. That moves us over here, white and orange. Which one's most dangerous? White has already played out its entire hand. It's done. However, I can only sell one of my 2 stocks. If I don't sell white, what did this guy do? I don't know. If I don't sell orange, this guy has his opportunity to sell orange or play it. He's kind of in the same position. I think I just need to sell that white. I get 34 bucks. and say that's it. Yeah. All right. It's on him. Do I want to sell orange? So here's the problem. If I trigger these, I get a lot of value. I don't have the cash to buy orange. He might buy it. That was the thought before. Like, I really don't have a lot of choices here. I could play green. You know what? I'm not convinced that I'm doing very well, though. That's the problem. Yeah. I need him to play the orange. I'm going to play green, raise it by 2. Oh, yeah, that's up there. And that is it. Puts it on the pen. Pen, no reason to hold it anymore. It's cash on hand, but I have a lot of cash. I don't need to not hold it. Black is really interesting here. I buy black, I shift it up. He sells. I can't afford to do it, right? I trigger an immediate income, which he's going to do. He's just got that sitting in the bank. What about white? What happens if I buy a white? I'm the only person holding it. I can increase its value. It's actually worth it for me. So, 28 bucks. I'm not going to be able to do this again. It goes up by 2. Unfortunately, because I'd really like to get the dividend. That would make it. But I am increasing the value of my other shares, so I'm making a little bit of money off this. And maybe I'll make money some other way. I don't know. Another orange. Great. We're on him. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to buy a black. Black costs 31 bucks. Goes up 2. Triggers a dividend. The dividend is 33 bucks. I only get it once. I don't get 33 a share, divided between them. And again, this hasn't come into play. Oh, it just did. It just did. Okay, so that just came into play. Immediately after all railroad discs have either entered or passed through one of the spaces, a special dividend gets paid. Pay the amount of money to the right of the line all railroads have crossed to each railroad's shareholders divided between the owned shares. This is additional income for holding stock. All right, let's look at each one. Blue is first. No one owns any blue. Should have held it. You'd get 10 bucks. Black is next, 10 bucks. He gets a bonus 10 bucks for this. This was something that I didn't really internalize. Green. Green gets 10 bucks. He doesn't get for being further. That's not until somebody hits there. That's 10 bucks divided by 5 shares. So 1, 2. Four over here. Not a very good payout because it's so split up. Orange, 10 bucks divided by 3 shares. That's 3.3 or something like that. He's going to get 7. He's going to get 4. Okay. And finally, white, he gets his 10 bucks. So that's a nice little mechanism. I am dying on batteries all across the board. He just took his turn. We have to shift this down. I can't tell you how much. I think the game could play significantly differently based on how the different players are playing the game. Like, this feels exceedingly like there's exceedingly boop. Critters 2 actually, from long ago. Extremely boop. I don't know if they end up saying stuff like that no matter what, but it was weird. They sort of learn some of the words you try to teach them, and they make up their others, and it's just really cute. But yeah, it feels to me like, just there's so many weird mechanisms that the way the competition kind of evolves in a game could change the way the game is in really, really significant ways. Maybe more so than like, the train rush or something like that in an 18xx. But it may just be that I'm not used to these mechanisms, so it feels more volatile than it actually is. Maybe there are some clear choices like, hey, are you pushing the trains? Does this happen? Kind of thing that I'm just not picturing right now. After giving my batteries all a chance to recharge, though not me, I'm still awake here. I went for a long walk yesterday. Not a huge one, but a couple hours, 2-3 hours. And I was thinking I would do the same today, but I just don't think I can because I'm not sleeping. All right, we're up here. He has tons of money. And I was so in the pacing of the game, and now I'm like lost, and I don't remember what the fuck is happening. We're close to the end, though. He has nothing but green. There are no greens available. However, there may be opportunities to do stuff. For example, if I buy this, its value goes up. Nobody's holding any of it. I make a couple of bucks off that. The alternative is I'm holding as much green as anyone is. This is the green city. And if I want to produce and up the value of green, I may need to move it. Or I could dump my green and drop its value down to here. And then maybe this guy, I'll crush it. Because it's running straight to its home. Will he? I don't know. He's probably going to sell it, in which case, wow, he's got a lot of tokens he can play while nobody does anything. So it's a tricky, tricky situation. Do I want to get rid of my greens at 21 bucks each? That would give me 42 bucks. Or do I want to make a couple of bucks off of blue or an orange? Orange would be dangerous. Orange has not crashed yet, but it's real close. I definitely don't want to shut green down myself. I'm going to count on him shutting it down just because I think that may happen. So I'm going to get 42 bucks. Of course, now comes the situation where everyone's got to kind of look and, somebody's in the lead, they're beating me, I don't want them to win, I'm not going to end things type of feeling. But this doesn't reset things particularly closer. Okay, this guy's got orange. He could end it. He could just shut orange down, or he could sell his orange. If I shut orange down, I boost its price, I get dividends, but I don't get the most of the dividends. What happens if I buy one? If I buy one, so this was the deal that I had in mind. Okay, so 24 bucks will buy me an orange. I'll grab this one for maximum value. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a dividend shot. Dividends are at 27. Split in half means each of these players gets 14 bucks. Just getting used to it. That moved up already. These have not. And it's weird because, there's these companies, they're not going to do anything in the game, but their stock still has some value in terms of it can generate some income. Like I picked this up, that generates an immediate dividend. And whoever buys it will be the only person who gets that dividend. And it increases, so they get a dividend of the value of that stock, and they also increase the value of the stock. So they basically are able to pay 18 bucks to double their money. It's a really good deal. Like, this is not a minor thing. Okay, and speaking of which, maybe I want to just do that, right? I got enough money. Maybe other people have been stupid by like avoiding this. So what happens if I sell my oranges? If I sell my oranges, the next player gets to boost them. If I don't sell them, this guy gets to sell his. Which is a bigger deal? If I sell them, it's a loss of $6 a share. But that's going to add 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, it'll be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It actually goes up in value. But if I boost it first, we both get the dividends. We split the dividends. So it's just not worth it to do that. But what is worth it? Well, I could close green down. But that's not my best chance of making money, I think. Because, hey, if he builds green, I'm gonna get a bit of a ride on that. I think this is my best chance of making money. So that's 18 bucks. And it's a weird situation, isn't it? 18 bucks, I pick up a share of this. That's going to go up by 3. 1, 2, 3. We have another dividend pip. This is now worth 21 bucks. Right? I make 21. I bought one of these. I'm worried because I think somebody bought something, and orange got bought that didn't do anything. Okay. Yeah. It's so easy to forget what's going on. This comes up. The owner of the pen. The pen has absolutely no reason to do anything. Like, he has nothing bad he needs to do. He's holding all these shares. Buying an orange, probably not worth it unless I'm one of the people who's involved in it. But that means I can't play with orange. Buying a blue. This guy gets to sell it if I buy it. That screws me. I also don't get the advantage that he got of being near a dividend and pushing it over. What about the pen? The pen is near a dividend. You can't push it over, though. If somebody else pushes it over, I can dump all my shares and create a certain kind of situation, but I don't have a lot of money, right? Well, I have enough money to do whatever I like. I've got to do something. I can't pass. I either have to dump my pens, which creates an opportunity here, right? I dump my pens, they go down, and now they're ready. They're going to make dividend on that. So somebody's going to get double the money. So I can't afford to do that, right? I can't lay any track because I've reached my destination. I could buy one of these. Orange is 27. I don't think it's a good idea. Blue is 21. I don't think it's a good idea. The final one is 30 here. I have the money, I can buy it. It'll increase the value. I at least don't lose money doing this. I guess that this is the best I can do. That doesn't go anywhere. Another blue comes out. I'm not happy, but I didn't lose money. And I think every other option I had would have lost me money. All right, we get over here. He is sitting with the only blacks in the game. I don't have to worry about them. It's just a matter of if I need to raise cash, I can sell them. But there's disadvantages to selling anything. Greens. Greens is not done, and there's stuff I can do with green. So I'm going to lay some track with green. Green didn't get to lay its track yet. Some other poor fool who's holding some of it doesn't really do anything. Go back up here. He's got nothing. He's just got his income, his money cards. He's holding absolutely nothing. He has to do something. Well, he cannot sell stock. He can't do trains. He has to buy one of these pieces of stock. And they're not good. Like, I buy orange, I raise the value by 3, everybody can dump it, and now things aren't that good. But at least orange has a couple of pips that can be played, which might do something. If I buy a blue, it's cheaper. I'm risking less money. This guy could dump it. I definitely get nothing off that. I'm going to buy the orange at 27. I don't know how wise this is, but the stock value goes up by 3. 1, 2, 3. This is already there. And these slide. I really don't know. More orange. All right, the orange player. I have a lot of cash. I'm really rich. I could just ditch these, convert, grab some more cash. That would save me from any of the other ugly choices. I could play these, up the income. That ends this company, but this company's still around. But I would get a dividend. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to play. I'm not at my headquarters yet, so I'm going to play for maximal. That'll be $8 bucks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That will be a dividend. We're at 38 bucks divided by 5. 38 divided by 5 would be 40 divided by 5, which is 8. But is it? This guy gets 8, no problem. Okay. But the question is, 38 divided by 5, this is what I don't like. And this is my own fault for doing it this way, but 38 divided by 5 is going to be 6. How do I get 8? That can't be right. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 3 divided by 5. So it's 7 point. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm going to say each of these gets 15. Just, I think that's right, but I'm not absolutely certain. Because they have 2 shares each. This was him doing this. Right? That has ended orange. It can't create any more. We moved that forward. This comes down here. Orange is worthless now. So I say. Time to cash it in, you know, because otherwise other people will cash it in before I get a chance. That drops at 32 bucks. Who won out of that? Yeah, I don't know. Because if I dumped these first, this guy would then get to create a bigger income gap. And I feel like I'm kind of even, but this guy is going to sell too, and it's just going to be horrible. It's just very, very weird what's going on in this game. Blue, somebody has a blue. If I buy a blue, I'm going to get ditched down. So I can't do that. I can't play white. So the only other thing I can do is buy a white. Can I afford a white? It's 31 bucks. I have it. I'm not thrilled with this, but I will keep buying them. Why? Because I can't think of a good reason. I mean, I could have dumped them all, but I'm just trying to stay even, right? I bought one. Did I move this up? I must not have. I actually trigger, because I paid 31. I actually trigger a, this isn't off yet. I trigger one of these. And I get 32 bucks from that. So I actually break out even for getting that share. That's pretty cool. And weird as hell. All right, up to here. And again, you know, predicting how these mechanisms are going to interact, like they don't do anything that you understand, like that makes sense, right? So you're facing a mathematical model of something imaginary, you know? And it's like, yeah, it can be really exciting to try to figure out what the consequences of actions are likely to be, but it's just not clear. There's nothing in in reality that helps you kind of assess what this game is going to do, which I don't know how I feel. It feels kind of like Sorcerer, because I'm looking at a Redmond Simonson game right now. What's Green up to? Green, he doesn't want his company to crash. That's what he's up to, which means I can't go here. So I'll go there and create 2 more income for Green. Green triggers 1. All right, we just hit here. That's 19 total. Divided by 3 is going to be 6 1/3. That means he gets 13. And he gets 7. Okay. We're over here. And I mean, he's just going to play these out unless this guy screws him over, which he can do at any time. And that will end the game. But so far, he's been watching other people kind of crash, right? Okay, orange. Well, there's no reason to hold an orange, and I sure don't want to buy stuff, so we'll sell one, getting us 32 bucks, and thus not losing as much as this guy does. But now he's in a position where his best move is probably to buy an orange. I could sell oranges, but then other people can buy them without any risk. There's nothing else I can buy without risk, so I will buy an orange at 26 from here. We haven't seen the third black go. Okay, 26 bucks from there. Grab this. That adds 1 to orange's value, which doesn't trigger anything. That's already down. I don't think we moved blue everywhere we should have, did we? It should be 2 up. Yeah, it is. Okay. Just doesn't look right. Yeah. This moves forward. This can affect that, which will generate cash for people, maybe, kind of. And we're down here, green and blue. I'm perfectly safe buying blues. I have tons of cash. It's not going to hurt me. I could end the game if I'm worried about him winning. See, I'm getting kind of a ride off the greens, and if this guy closes out green, none of us get a chance to go down in value. So what do I want to do? Am I winning? Am I not winning? It's hard to tell. I see these blacks are worth 66 bucks. He has an extra green on me. That's worth a lot more than my blue. So 66.85. My blue is worth, say, 20. So there's a 65 buck difference, and we're about the same price. I need to hurt green, but closing it off doesn't put me ahead, and I can't think of anything that does. The only thing I can think of is that I want to buy blues. Blues are running at 21. Now, I've probably lost no matter what with this guy. And that goes up 3. But this at least gives me an opportunity. Like, if I sell this, or if I close green, or if I improve green, all of them give this guy who's ahead of me, leaves him ahead of me. And so I can very clearly see I'm I might gain ground by buying this. I can't gain ground by doing anything with green. It's just the nature of what we're facing. These move. More blues. And he's the only one who can safely play with them because anybody else buys them and boom, the price goes down. Although the price going down may not be that big a deal because dividends double the value of them. Oh, not when you're holding a hoard of them. It becomes less. Well, I don't know. You're getting the value. So yeah, it does double the value. Like it does create extra value. I don't think it's double. All right, 38. I have a bunch of pens. I could buy a black. What happens if I buy a black? Well, then this guy can sell his blacks and I lose money. And that's not good, which he will perhaps wish to do. I think the only thing I can do of any value is to sell all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pens. I don't like doing it because holding these was giving me an advantage. That's 150, 160 bucks. Well, that's a lot of money. Over here. Well, I got a few things I can do. But I think the best thing I can do is probably playing these suckers. Ugh. Okay, so here's the thing. If I don't place here, he may screw green out of that. Like, that's a $5 difference. So I may want to just end it here. Because I have to play 2 of these. He'll have the opportunity to screw green. 2 of them doesn't really do me shit. Well, it does. I put this here. That creates $5 more, which puts this at 24. Green moves. This did not move very much at all. I believe we're at the end of the game. Because green has reached its destination. The 5 railroads cannot lay any more track. I'm going to need to swap batteries. And then count up victory. It's funny, this particular outlet, no problems at all. The battery just sort of sinks, the charger just sort of sinks in there as though it's like perfect. There's no resistance or anything. It just loosely slides right in, which is a little weird. Like, I think plugs are supposed to give a little bit of resistance when they fit correctly, and I am just really confused because it's entering it in a way that I would say, I'm not sure that's sturdy, but somehow, like, the lack of resistance is like bringing the weight of the battery thing into perfect contact or whatever in a way that most of them don't. All right, let's see what we got here. We're just going to add up value on these. People aren't selling or anything. So 27 times 3 is 60, 81. And that's these pieces of stock. Down here, that's going to be 24 for this. And 2 of these is going to be 48. Okay. This guy doesn't get anything extra. He's got quite a bit of money though. Over here, 33.66. That's a lot. And 48. These. No extra money there. So now we just get to look. He's at 105. He's at 45. He's at 143, 198, and 185. So it actually ended up kind of close. Now, what can I say about this? Like, I don't feel like I learned anything, right? Like, maybe because I'm playing on video. Sometimes that helps, but with these kind of games, quite often I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Did I get run over by a truck? I really don't know, you know. I don't feel like I've devised much in the terms of strategy, but on the other hand, I'm not sure that it's trivial to do so in this game. I have the feeling that, like, this is something that, kind of like the XX games, it's based on the perceptions of what everybody else is doing. I think unlike the XX game, well, I was going to say, if you're doing something different from everybody else, you might win in an XX, and that may not be the case here, but I really can't even say. I'm not going to do a formal review of this. I'm just going to kind of put it in with the wrap, because I honestly have so little to say about this. It's like such an abstract and weird situation. It has, you know, people say train games, and they mean all kinds of things. Well, to me, train games have to kind of feel like I'm dealing with trains. Here I don't. Here I feel like I'm dealing, these aren't stocks, right? You know, that's not how, stocks don't operate like this. You know, it's, sure, when I sell them, the price goes down. That makes sense. When I buy them, the price goes up. That makes sense. We're talking thematic sense here, though, not simulation value, right? Not subject matter sense. So what we've got is, like, you know, some things that you're kind of like, well, yeah, when you buy stocks, their price goes up. When you sell them, their price goes down. That makes sense. Yeah, but where's the money coming from that the companies are building stuff? It's not the stock money. Is this all the stocks of the company? Because it's paying out a dividend, when it pays out dividends, equal to the entirety of the stock value of the corporation. The entire value, the book value of the corporation. You know, what the investors are saying that corporation is worth. It pays that out every now and then. It just says, yep. Now, you could say that's a stock split or something, but I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be. You know, it just doesn't make sense. It's just like, yeah, we're liquidating all our assets, and here's your share. But, yeah, we expect to make money again. What is going on here? Again, the company doesn't need to raise money to lay track. It doesn't matter how many shares are out or anything like that. This isn't trying to do anything that makes any sense, okay? And in that sense, this is no more of a train game than UP is a train game, than Express is a train game, right? These are games that have trains in their theme, and they are thematic games, by my wording, by my usage of the word, because they've got nothing to fucking do with the subject matter at hand. All they have to do is with this portrayal of a thematic element to make it tastier or something. That said, there's a really cool abstract going on here. One that, like, if you can get rid of the thinking of anything to do with trains or stocks or anything like that, I think would be easier to wrap your head around. But yeah, don't look at this, you know, as, even though it has certain aspects that feel similar to Winsome style games, those games usually are trying to deal with certain simulation value of the subject matter. They are trying to represent what's going on in a training situation. If you look at things like Crayon Rails with its pick up and deliver, if you look at Rail Baron, these games feel a little bit more disconnected. But again, you know, the better your RailNet, the more goods you're able to deliver, the more income you make. It all kind of makes sense in its own little weird way. Even something like Danfrost with its like racing game type thing, you know, again, you have to connect things up, and the faster route gets some sort of advantage. That's getting pretty tenuous to me, right? That stops feeling like a rail game to me, but it feels like some kind of weird racing game more than anything else. This feels like a pure abstract the same way that like Bazaar feels like a pure abstract. But this is really more enticing to me. And I've seen other abstracts that are enticing to me in the same way, Tigris and Euphrates, that like, there's something that I like about them, whereas there's something I really don't like about the trash compacting and the trading that's going on, the math that's going on in Bazaar. I don't like that abstract algebra. This isn't just figure out the abstract algebra of this game and how to best optimize conversions. Bazaar is a game about arbitrage over an abstract algebra. I think I'm going to call it that from now on if I ever remember. Unfortunately, I don't have a copy of it, and I'm just not willing to buy it because I really despise the game. Like, I don't. I have a great deal of respect for the game. It's Saxon, isn't it? And but I don't enjoy playing it one bit. I hate playing it. Now, with this, I really enjoy playing it. The fact that it's not purely abstract, that it like has got this thematic aspect to it, right? By which I mean having something that you can retheme. No, it's really just window dressing, and but you might not be able to express this game. Like, the game is guided by that thematic aspect, in the sense that, like, sure, the mechanisms don't really correlate with what you're doing, but as a mnemonic device, they kind of make sense, right? With the stocks prices and the sales and the purchases having the effects that they do, it feels a lot more believable. The problem is, it's really hard to grasp what the strategy like involved is and what the trade-offs are and everything, because there's something really weird going on that I can't put my finger on. Anyway, that was this, and this is done.